Hey folks, welcome to episode 9 to Just Conversations, no interviews. Remember, you need to like,
share,
subscribe. You see today we're missing one person, but before we get into episode 9, even my lovely colleagues don't know what I'm about to do right now, but I have to do something I really hate. I have to admit I was wrong last week. Somebody ran down on me. Yes, I didn't tell nobody, I just wrote it in my notes. Somebody ran up on me this week and said, man, you think you're so damn smart, but I'm gonna tell you, you're a dummy because you quoting Instagram facts with the eyelash thing. Said, like, when you see them with the fake eyelashes, just for everybody running around with the fake eyelashes, and if you like them, it's cool. But they're really,
I like them.
Yes, and they're really called cumbrellas. They're called cumbrellas.
That makes me like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
We're not editing this one.
Sorry.
We're not editing that one. We're gonna keep that on there. So yeah, they're cumbrellas. So you can just imagine someone
French prostitutes.
French prostitutes
Okay.
when they got ejaculated in the face, those eyelashes caught the cum. So, sometimes you don't even realize what you represent. I'm not saying, don't do it. You might love the look, but just know
Is
the
that
origin.
fake?
Huh?
Is that fatty?
Yeah,
Oh,
we gotta make sure that.
So they gave me the smoke, and they let me know that their eyelashes was actually made in Egypt, where the people who had style or stature used the eyelashes as it was the first form of sunglasses. So they used the eyelashes as shades to cover for their eyes.
So when they go back into the footage, they had one brother on the side of them who said,
Oh, verify
sure,
that.
let's
Verify
make sure that that's accurate. We don't want to be
Verify
coming at the French.
No, the Romans. Said on the somebody, French
The French,
prostitutes.
yeah.
So yeah, I got all the smoke, and then somebody in Canada actually patented that in the early 1900s, and they actually made the first fake eyelashes out of real hair, and they were horrible, wasn't very good. So they finally sometime in the mid 1900s started using plastic to do it.
I mean, but
So-
umbrellas sound a bit extreme.
I mean,
it didn't sit well with me. So that's why we know now not to listen to shit from the other side of the camera.
That's why you don't talk to the guys in the back.
But actually, no. See, one thing about it is an honest show. So if it's something that we did mess up on, we would definitely come out here and correct it with us knowing. We usually do triple and quadruple checks, things like that on certain information. But sometimes things do slide in here.
So we apologize.
I apologize for me, for all the women that are completely insulted.
Nah, we
at
both
this
lost today. You know what I mean?
But
We don't do that.
yeah, but on a different note, we had the COVID crisis. So we've seen some tenants in I want to say South Carolina. They didn't like the fact that the landlord was making an extra apartment in the house out the garage. So they decided to call the authorities on the landlord because they didn't appreciate him making another apartment in the house. And of course, the landlord didn't have the proper paperwork. So L&I, they call it L&I when we in Philadelphia. They actually came in and shut down the whole house. So the tenant not only shut down the landlord from making the new apartment, but the tenant also caused himself to become homeless. So for all you tenants that's giving your landlord a hard time, I'm not saying don't call L&I. I'm just saying have a plan B when you do call L&I.
And it's not funny, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a slap in the face, your own face.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. So we're dealing with rest in peace. I'm gonna say to the Watson family, Dennis Watson. He was part of my brother and them when we were all had a group called the Blind Gang. So I just want to say he's a very helpful young man. He helped us out, helped spread the word, spread the vibe of the company and the musical movement. So I want to give his family a rest in peace. And I know it's an unwanted death. A couple other people I know have lost someone. So to anybody that has been losing anybody, my condolences from us and the staff here at Just Conversation, no interviews. It's kind of funny though. All week it make you think about how people always say like, if I only knew this person was going to die, but you really do know somebody's going to die. So every day you're dealing with people, or you have like a small beef or gripe with people, you should be knowing that if that person died today, that's how your relationship's going to end. So if the beef is not worth having, you probably want to try to correct it, because whatever grudge you may be holding on to, it's probably not worth it. And and in this life you don't get no rewinds. So if you get a chance to make things right with people, I think you should, take a chance to do it. Sometimes get out your own pride in your own way. Got anything for that, Pimp? You straight on that?
I never straight.
All right. And again, as always, prepare for the loss and just enjoy the journey. So, because we don't have Miss O this week, we're going to be bringing up two wonderful people with us this week. We're going to start out with Mr. Frank Flyer. We're gonna talk about Johnson & Johnson, McKesson, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen. These companies all have agreed to pay $26 billion for the opioid crisis that has caused in America and a lot of middle of America to feel the effects of pharmaceuticals. So currently, right now, they're all working out a deal for $26 billion. It's going to be given out to states for the treatment, for the deaths, for the overtime and stuff they cost the actual police and things like that. I think it's a great thing that they are doing that, but it's like, you know, sometimes these communities are being pillaged. Like they got pillaged through entertainment. They've been pillaged before, especially in the urban area, in the early '80s with crack cocaine and any other drug that comes across this border. Because again, we don't make none of these drugs here,
Right.
other than methamphetamine. But these drugs are actually brung through this country. So, you know, it's a good step, I guess, to be paying the $26 billion. But I just want to know, how do we get the money for the people that was affected in the '80s?
By the crack
Yeah,
epidemic.
and then how do we go about also, you know, the entertainment industry push these narcotics through the music and everything, and you know, people act like music doesn't affect you, but it's funny that if Apple can show Beats headphones in the video and make everybody go out and buy the Beats, then why can't music? If I keep hearing all day, sip on some drink, pills, the bars, If the pills is being pushed in the music, then if you can make me buy sneakers, jeans, and all other high fashion brands, then how can't the music make me buy the high fashion brands? So I see that the pharmaceutical companies are in this lawsuit, but why wouldn't the musical companies be in it? And I'm talking about the artists. We're not talking about the artists. It's probably two major record labels. Why wouldn't they be in that type of lawsuit also? So just questions like that. So Mike, what is your take on that?
I had a question.
What's up?
Why not the artist as well?
Well, the reason why I wouldn't put it on the artist, because with the artist, in my opinion, they're going to say this is just being artistic. So it's expression. So like, if you're not going to sue Arnold Schwarzenegger or Bruce Willis for shooting a gun in the movie,
Right.
then you can't sue me.
Well, they're the actors, and it's not their production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they didn't produce it, but the artist that's actually, most of the time, that's actually performing the songs and the lyrics, they're probably the producer of that. They probably wrote those lyrics and they produced that song. You know what I mean? I didn't say all the time.
Songwriting.
Yeah, songwriters. You know what I mean? Not all the time, but quite a few of them that we know are responsible for their own lyrics. But in that case, I would think that
So
they want to push the, and we have independent artists too.
So
that's pushing some of this stuff.
So this is how I look at it. If I'm an artist, right? If I'm an artist, that music gets made, but then it got to be manufactured and pushed around, right?
So the
So-
production companies, yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's not like,
When does it stop though?
when does it stop?
Yeah, like when does it stop with we just making music to entertain? Like it's just like it's nothing. It's just entertainment. It ain't really affecting somebody because it really is affecting somebody.
Right.
Like these families are being affected. They've been affected pretty much since the '80s. So it's like, when does it stop?
Right.
I don't have that answer, Frank.
Yeah.
That's a complex question for me.
I think when they figure out who to go after, because
Yeah.
right now we at whether it's the label, whether it's the artist, whether it's no real way to even.
I look at it like, if you make a song in your house and you just make whatever, you know, that song just stays in your house.
Right.
It's when that song actually travels out and it starts to hit the masses. You not
So
gonna be
who
able to-
allowed this to come out, right?
Yeah. And you know, and then I look at like, what time was it played? You know, at the end of the day, you know, kids to me are the most scariest people when this impressionable stuff happens and when it comes out. You know, when you talk about children, you know, a child going to school at 4 or 5 years old, 8 o'clock in the morning, listening to the radio, talking about you know, let me get the drink, or mom pop another seal, I'm trying to get real and all that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit different. That's more like rated R listening. So maybe, you know, communications and things like radio should go back to the days when that stuff didn't play at certain times.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then we're in the days of streaming. So what they gonna say? You can't stream your music at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? So it's like, I don't know what's the fix to the problem. I just know that, I know when I was younger, I know I wanted Jordans because I seen certain rappers and athletes with them on because the entertainment showed me it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was going to do anything to get those Jordans, you know? So it has to be somewhere people have to at least admit the problem first, because first thing somebody's going to say is, well, no, I'm an artist and I'm just doing my thing. and that's fine. You know what I mean? But for the but when it comes down to their kids and it affecting their families,
It's a problem.
And everybody want to call a timeout at that point.
Right.
So when we have these big lawsuits and stuff like that, it's going to be funny because
I mean, but couldn't you sue both parties at being responsible?
well, in America we know you can sue anybody, but it's people that make certain things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, lawsuits probably will be coming down the pike at some point. I mean, at the point right now, they're locking rappers up for talking about murders, whether they did them or not, if they can tie the murder into a lyric. You know what I
Right.
mean? So when people figure out a way to make profit off of it, it's going to start happening. But to get back to what we said about the Johnson & Johnson and McKesson Cardinal Health, it's funny just how we look at addiction. You know what I mean? So when we were younger, we watched people lose their moms and dads out their houses, destruction, everything. Then when the same thing happened in Middle America, somehow everybody got together and felt as though they were the victims. So how we wasn't the victims in the 80s?
Right.
Like I think that should be a lawsuit worth looking into.
How you think we gonna come out on that one?
How do I think we can come out on it? I think it'd be in the same line as reparations.
It ain't gonna happen.
I feel like that time period is always glossed over because of some other things that happened during those time periods. Like nobody really thinks about crack, but it came out around the same time as hip hop. So it's like
Yeah.
we don't really care about talking about crack. We only gonna talk about hip hop because that's the positive situation. So I'm guessing that's why it's always looked over.
Right. And
Good
could it
point,
be?
Frank.
Could it be that era was kind of glorified too?
Yeah.
To hip hop.
Yeah, man, but we talking about, man, you got the president of the United States at that time taking money from this to put into the Iran-Contra war. I mean, this is documented.
Right.
So like the money, we know that the money came from these neighborhoods. We know the money came from these areas, and we know that money went over to a war.
Right.
So it's like, wow, that's
The black dollar can afford a war.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The black dollar has already paid for a war.
That's how
Yeah.
powerful the
That's
black
how
dollar
crazy
is.
the black dollar
Yeah.
been. Because remember, we were millionaires in the 20s.
Right.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, sir. So I can segue over here to something about the black dollar. Killer Mike and his people have just opened up the Greenwood Digital Bank, and on their first day of actually opening it, they had over $40 million in investments. $40 million in investments going to the bank. They've been talking about this for like the last 6 months. They actually started a couple years ago when they went to the black banks, and I want to say in all around the country, or definitely in Atlanta, and he had to drive, and the radio station stopped him out too and said, "Look, we want to raise money and all to show people that put your money into the black banks," and they actually did it. Once they did it, Wells Fargo got wind of it, and then now they came out with a black investment initiation fund, something along those lines. And it's just funny how like once we show what we can do with our money, everybody wants to come help us. But at least they didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. He actually got with the guy that makes I want to say the guy that sold Bounce TV, maybe. It's one of them channels that you got that show nothing but old movies.
Yeah, that's what Bounce is.
Yeah, I think it's Bounce Network.
Yeah.
That guy sold that channel, believe it or not, for like $300 million or something like that. So they got together, and I know him and a couple other people are spearheading this new bank. There's no brick and mortar yet. It's just all digital banking. But I would suggest anybody, if you got $100 laying around, you just got your stimulus, like help an initiative out like this. Like go online, open up, put $100 in there. You can forget about it. Just put it in there. It's still going to be there. Just put it in there, just to show. If they did 40 million in one day,
Right.
he's showing how powerful this black dollar is, and that's not even a fraction of it because they say we spend up to $1 trillion a year. So again, we are powerful. We do make a lot of money. We should really, grab onto the black people that are making improves, that are actually making the moves and trying to change our lifestyle. Because it's nothing like trying to have an idea as an entrepreneur, walk into a bank, and you got to sit with a banker that's not from your culture, or doesn't have that is from your culture, but doesn't have the freedom to help you, because the people behind the door, where you really don't get to go most of the times, they have no interest in helping you whatsoever. So you'd be surprised how far you can get when the people who you're banking with look like you, talk like you, and understand you. So with that said, I'm watching a shift in college sports. So we have Deion Sanders on one hand, we have Max P on the other hand. Deion Sanders went to start coaching at a historical black college, I think it's Jackson State, and he's helping those young guys upgrade their equipment, get them more media and everything. Then we have Master P, whose son, what's his name? No, not Romeo. Something Miller. His last name Miller. I forgot.
Percy Miller.
That's
That's
Master P's
Pete's real name.
That's
Yeah.
Master P's real name.
Maybe Percy Miller Jr.
No, I'll get his name in a second. But his son is one of the top recruits in high school basketball right now. Actually, he actually whooped on LeBron James' son. I want to say about a year ago. It's a big game.
Oh, that's
on
how long
ESPN.
ago that was? I
Yeah,
didn't
what,
realize it was
Hersey?
that long ago.
Huh? Hersey? Yeah, Hersey. So not Percy, but Hersey. So he whipped on him, and that was a national game on ESPN. After that game happened, everybody thought the son was definitely going to USC or UCLA, something out there in California where
Right.
he lived. But his son actually went to get that school for me, Frank. What school is that? His son actually wanted to down to a BSU,
Yeah, he ended up going
at HBCU. Whoa, that's crazy. At
HBCU.
HBCU, yeah.
He ended up going to Tennessee State.
Yeah, so he wanted to go to Tennessee State. So when he goes to Tennessee State, you know, that opens up that school to a whole nother world. Hopefully they'll get more televised games. They'll start getting other things because this one athlete now can change the trajectory of their school. You know, schools like UCLA and USC, stuff like that, they have endowments of millions and billions. Like, you know, I mean, they have people that's going to come there and give them all types of money. You know, but with his son going there, it's almost like when Zion Williams went to Duke for that 1 year. Zion Williams went to Duke for 1 year. I think Duke might have made $20 to $40 million off him playing that 1 year. So to a school like UCLA and USC, that's just a drop in the bucket. But to Tennessee State, that changes the whole dynamic because now we got some cash. We can upgrade our weight rooms. We can pay our people more money. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plans out because if he's the first one to do it, could you imagine if all the top college, all the top high school athletes like, no, we are going to HBCUs.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Start a trend. It's a
Yeah,
trend.
yeah, and that can show you even more how strong how more dynamic our dollar is. What you about to say, Frank?
Yeah, I was gonna say, this ain't the first time a Miller has been like the face of something involving college basketball. Cause it was like that when Romeo was choosing schools. I mean, of course, he eventually
In
went
the
to-
USC, right?
Yeah, he
The
eventually went to USC. So I feel like Hersey is more like the father because he's more like on the side of the entrepreneurial stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why he's like, all right, I'm gonna focus on my folks and go to a HBCU. So I just hope he has a great journey while he out there.
Right.
Yeah, definitely hope.
And what you think he's gonna get picked up in his first year, right? What you
Yeah, I think he'll only be there for a year, but he can make. And he's not the first hot top recruit to do it. There was another recruit that did it probably like a year ago, but they kind of was saying like he might wind up going overseas. But he said if he going to college, he said he was going to Howard.
Okay.
And this is like a year ago. So it starts with a little bit of rumblings, and now starting I'd say August 1st, they're going to start allowing college athletes to make money off their likeness.
Right.
So they'll be able to start getting some type of money. So.
Well, and like in terms of endorsements and stuff, but not
Yeah.
actually for playing the game.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
can't get paid for playing the game. But sometimes you could be a top college player and you're not gonna go to the pros, but when you was in college, you dominated. I know plenty of guys that I remember plenty of guys that dominated in the college level.
Right.
They didn't convert over to the pro level. But if they could have made some money, that's a couple $100,000.
Yeah,
Maybe a
but
couple
they
million.
made that school millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, they make the school millions and walk away with nothing.
Nothing,
I mean, they
yeah.
talk about the free education, but that's a treasure to somebody that values it.
Right.
And I feel that, we're in a time now where, college basketball players are like taking advantage of their journey. It's not really focusing on do they have to stay in college. Some of them are focusing on going overseas. Some of them are focusing on just going straight to the NBA. So everything is changing around them every day, every year. So I want to see what Hersey does, and hopefully he might, make a riff and stuff.
Yeah, definitely want to see this. And like I said, with Deion Sanders going there, he had a scene where he had all the football players on the field, and he showed them. I think Ford Dodge gave him two of the $80,000 trucks.
Trucks,
He
yeah.
put two of them on the field and said, "Yeah." He said, "Look what they gave me." And he said, "Look, this is to show y'all what y'all can get." You know what I mean? And he said, "Man, all y'all got to do is just play the game. Don't worry about it. Just play the game hard. If they take on that attitude and really go out there, you could really be playing college sports and maybe not go to the league, but you can make a couple high hundreds of thousands, high six figures. Get out of school with it. That would give you a reason to pay attention to business class.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
'Cause now I got this money.
And I don't know what to do with
I'm
it.
gonna figure out what to do with it, and maybe I could do something. I could leverage this into something else. So
Right.
it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, and that's for any athletes, man. I don't agree with how college athletes are. It's like slaughtered. Like they're pretty much slaughtered. You know what I mean? If you make it out of there, it's like high five. But you don't.
Make
It's
the
like,
school
oh, well.
billions and you blow your knee one time and your
It's a done.
whole
It's a done.
But
I
but
mean,
everybody else got paid off
Everybody
their
else got
talent.
paid.
But
Everybody
you.
else got
The
paid.
percentage of people who make it into the NBA is like, what is it, like 1 or 2%? So it's
Yeah, I
like,
think altogether it's 400 players.
Yeah, so
400
it's
players
like-
in the NBA, something like
and
that.
then I looked in the NBA, there were only 2 within the last couple of years that was actually from an HBCU. So
Okay.
maybe he could, whether Hersey or whoever comes after him, make a move like that and they, get to play in the NBA and probably grow stuff for the HBCUs. 'Cause
Right.
they don't really get the focus no more like they used to.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Like in the '80s, like Jerry Rice comes from HBCU. I think I'm almost sure he comes from a small college. I want to say maybe Moses Malone. But no, Moses Malone came straight to the NBA. It's a couple players that did come out of HBCUs, and I think in the '70s they came out of there. And I want to say like whenever they started integrating sports, HBCUs used to really beat up on the other
Yeah.
conferences. So then they figured, well, let's just pry everything from over there and take all their resources. But Frank, we want to thank you for your first time being on camera. How you like it, man?
It was cool.
We definitely want to thank you for your first time coming out, and look forward to seeing Frank. He'll be working with us more in the future. And at this point, I'd like to welcome the great Bird representing the set. Come on now, Bird. So Bird, you brought up an interesting topic to us last week. We were supposed to get more information on it. The young man from Paradox Clothing. You want to elaborate and tell the people about what happened to the young man?
Maybe about 2 weeks ago, maybe it wasn't even that long, the owner of the local Philadelphia brand Paradox, he was arrested for murder. When I was reading the story, well actually the baby mom, wife of the person who was killed actually came out with the story. I think his name was Brand. I could be wrong, but he actually came to the clothing store to buy clothes from Deke. And while they were trying to get the clothes out of the car, Deke's friend shot himself in the arm. So while all of that is going on, Deke just thought the guy Brand shot his friend. He never thought his friend shot himself. So while that's happening, he pulls out his gun and shoots the guy once in the chest and he dies. So I just wanted to see like what you guys think about that. It's sad.
It's sad.
On both sides.
That's all you can say. It's sad on both sides because
I think it's very
now
tragic.
that family is without father and husband.
Father and husband.
But now this
other-
entrepreneur is in jail for a mistake, and he thought he was doing the right thing.
I think sometimes in cases like did the wife understand what happened? Like she kind
She
of.
said it was an accident.
And I think sometimes like I think it should be like a different type of law. Like it's a law. I think it's called jury nullification. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's like sometimes when you go to trial, even though you are guilty, the jury gets to decide should you go to jail for this or not.
Right.
And I think this is one of those type of cases. Like I actually think like if the two families can work together and work on like a compensation or maybe and there's no compensation for somebody dying at all. But I mean, like, this man was a thriving entrepreneur.
There's no
He
sense of
wasn't-
losing two
Yeah,
lives.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
He was a thriving
Right.
entrepreneur. Like, let's work outside. Let's think outside the box. Like, it can't be just one way all the time. Like, they always got these, they got
Laws
these
is
laws.
rigid.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got these rigid laws,
Rigid
for
laws.
certain people though.
Right.
For certain people, they have rigid laws. But
Right.
then, like, when there's other people, everybody can get creative. So I think the guy Larry Krasner, I know he's catching a lot of hell now with the gun violence. I think this should be something that they all should be able to maybe sit down and think like, yo, we don't have to throw this man away. This was an honest mistake. Yes, we got here on a strange way and probably a bad way. Maybe it was bad training of a firearm or whatever it was. I don't think it should be clear cut. This man should go to jail, especially if the wife has already said
It was a mistake.
This was a true mistake. This is something real. Like this isn't something where you should just be some detective who's just trying to make his numbers for the month. Oh, this is an easy crime to solve. Yeah, of course the guy turned himself in. He ain't going to run or nothing like that. Like let's really look at it. This was an actual mistake. And I know they can say, well, it's going to be man 3. Yeah, man 3. I understand man 3. But I don't think it really should be no jail time for something like this. I think if both families can get on the same accord and they say, hey, listen, man, for every purchase made out my store, I'll make sure that this family gets XYZ number.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if shirts retail for $30, I don't know. I never
Whatever
never had-
percentage- whatever
it
percentage
is.
is,
Yeah, 10% of the sales go to a fund for the kids. You put it in the trust for the kids for the next couple years. Whatever it takes, it's better than him going to jail. Because if he go to jail getting 30 cents an hour for the next, for the
least
next
10
3
years.
years, 10 years, like it's a waste.
So let me ask you, do you think things should change with the gun laws? And I know that's tricky because when one thing happens that affects everybody, that carries. But I mean,
Not with me. No, I am an advocate for guns. It should be guns.
you should be able to have.
And-
When I say gun laws, not you shouldn't be able to carry it, but do you think it should be some type of training and some type
Yes,
of
yes. I think it should be
differences,
more
yeah.
train. I think it should be more training with
because
guns.
that accident all seemed like
Could have been
mishandling
Yeah,
of firearms.
Yes. I think it shouldn't be. I think you should be able to get a gun, but I think you should be going to a certain amount of training for a gun.
And screaming.
Yeah. So when you get a gun from Philadelphia, you just go out there, fill out the paperwork, blah blah blah. You get the gun, no problem. You go get some of these like an Act 235, you have to take training and license and you learn. Like most people think that they can have a license to carry and take a couple drinks in the bar and shoot somebody and they could go say, hey officer, I just did it. Like no, it doesn't work like that. It's a lot of laws that come with this. Even before you shoot somebody, you got a license to carry. You have to make sure that this person poses a threat and that you are in the correct, your life is in danger, and then you can engage.
Right.
So, it's a lot of training they don't give you. For one, they don't even want you to have a license to carry, you know what I mean? For whatever reason. It's not advertised. Most people don't even know that you go down to G and Erie and get the application from the police building. Yeah, I just gave y'all some game. You just, you go
For
out
the
and get the
people in
application.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, for the people in Philadelphia.
Get there early.
Yeah, get there early and pray to God the person doesn't have an attitude. And whatever you do, even if you wasn't convicted of the arrest, put it on there. Put it on there. All arrests count on there, so you have to put it on there. It's not going to deny you, but if you don't talk about the arrest, it's a way for them to deny you. So, please go in there and know what you're doing when you're doing it. And I know it seems like you think the person behind it is going to help you. This is, maybe not. But back to what I was saying, I think there should be way more training for guns.
Yeah.
I think maybe you should have a certain amount of course, and it shouldn't be nothing you have to pay for. We all pay taxes. We got some people in law enforcement that probably would love to tell people and show people how to do it. Not like they have to do it, but I'm saying it's probably some people who would love to do it because it's like, man,
Right.
the gun. Like I said, when I see some of these crazy shootings, because I know people are running around here doing all this crazy stuff. And I'm not saying you should train nobody. If you tell people how to use a gun, what not to do with a gun,
More responsible.
yeah, be more responsible. And then maybe some of the other people be like, yo, you know what? Or maybe when a guy heard a shot, he pulls out a gun and check before he starts shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe he go and see what's going on.
And that's a whole different line
At
of
least
training.
see a gun first before you shoot.
Again, I think that can go. I think that can go either way. I don't think you should throw the life away. I think somehow they should be able to meet some. And I wouldn't suggest that person go to jail at this moment because that business, a month in jail, that business can go to crap.
Right.
So I think that same person should be. I think that story should be told and should tell people. Sometimes you can use these types of story to grow instead of everybody just using coming down with the big mullet, boom, and now you're gonna destroy even more than the first lives. We got to find a better way than just we got to think outside the box. And now for the combo sparker of the week.
Yeah, it's gonna be one, and it's not mine this time.
It's not his.
Whose is it?
I was watching the news.
Okay,
I was watching
it's
the news.
the news.
I was watching
Combo
the news, and I seen an interesting topic, and I seen a guy. I was not there when it happened. I don't even know how it happened, so I'm just assuming, it was a guy out, and maybe he ran into a certain type of person, and he was used to a certain type of person. So if I'm a man, I'm a natural man. I like natural woman.
Maybe a certain type of gender you want to say.
A certain type, but I don't know how you say it because I know I'm gonna get butchered and battered. So I'm gonna just say it, okay? Man was out. It seems like he met a woman. Something he perceived to be something that he liked, and they went home. It seemed like something may have happened, and the man realized that what he acquired, it wasn't what he had. So, like one time, me and this player was in Memphis one time, and he asked the lady on the menu Pacific, because this man's a vegan, he don't eat beef. And he said, hey, y'all got vegan burgers? She said, yeah, we got vegan burgers. So the man got the burger, he ate the burger. As he bit into the burger, he's like, yo, something ain't right with this burger. This burger don't taste like,
Right.
this burger don't taste vegan. He took another bite, and he even called the lady. Was like, yo, is this vegan? Is this beef? I ordered vegan. She's like, no. It's you know, she swore by it. No, it's vegan.
And at the same time, they wouldn't write down none of the orders. Remember, she was a
She knew
fancy
everything.
waiter.
Yeah, she know everything. So long and behold, he found out it was beef, and I'm quite sure I could say you didn't like that, right?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it at all.
So I would say, like, you know, if I'm somewhere and I see something, because I'm, you know, for me, if I'm gonna engage with a woman, I want it to be a woman that was born a woman. That's the type of woman I like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of this new stuff is. I was born in 1979. So these new women that's coming out now,
all this is politically wrong.
yeah,
Politically incorrect.
these new women that's coming out now, I don't understand. They're for everybody, and I think I don't know if everybody can take it. I mean, they're gonna butch me in the comments, but no, I'm serious.
No.
I'm serious though. Like if you go by your eye and you see something, you know, and you want it to be the way you normally see it, correct? I mean, how would you feel about that? Ben? How would you feel about that?
I just want to go ahead and introduce it. All over again.
Because butcher.
But we gonna keep it. We gonna keep all this, but we gotta go ahead. So,
Introduce it, player.
from my understanding, you had a gentleman who met a woman who he perceived to be a born woman, and this woman did not tell him that she was not born a woman. And when he found out, he felt betrayed. And I guess our question to that is, how would everybody feel about that? And could that really be against the law? Because it's misleading. It's kind of like,
Is it rape?
is it? Is it what? Say it again.
Is it rape?
Well, I guess if he never disclosed that he didn't like that, but if he kind of let her know he only liked natural born woman, and then she proceeded to go ahead and do whatever she was
So
doing
we're
with
gonna
him.
say I am a natural born woman. In my mind, I'm a natural born
Now,
woman.
but we talking about genetics.
Genetics, okay.
Yeah.
So
Genetics.
genetically natural born woman.
Physically born.
Yeah, physically born.
woman.
Yeah.
So Bert, how you feel about that, Bert?
This is a crazy topic. But it is rape at the end of the day. It's not like extreme rape. I'm pretty sure they both was consensual to have sex, but now learning that she was born a man and now he feels taken advantage of, that is rape. So just like if it was a female having sex with someone who thought they could get them somewhere, come to find out the man was lying, is that also rape? I think that's rape too, because you're not having sex with who you thought you were having sex with.
And underage is also considered. That's the
Underage
statutory
is
rape.
also
So
considered,
it's different forms.
There's different forms of rape. But I just think it would be easier if you're honest with your partner. Therefore, no one ends up getting killed.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't, even if you're fully transitioned, you have a vagina, you don't have a dick anymore, sorry, that's vulgar, but you still should let your partner know, because at the end of the day, you might be dealing with someone who's absolutely straight. They have no like for their own sex. They have no like for dating someone who was once this and who was this now. I think you should the best thing to do is just be honest. The worst they can do is say no. I don't want to talk to you no more. Move on to the next. So this lady lost her life. And now
Well, no, she didn't get killed.
She didn't get killed?
No, she just got she was assaulted very badly. But she didn't lose her life. She was assaulted. But there are instances where people did lose their life because of the package not matching. You know, sometimes the rapper's not, you know, matching.
Or you get mad at yourself, or maybe you did like it and now you're like, oh, am I gay now? Oh shit, am I gay?
Yeah, I mean, it could go so many ways.
It's just-
It's weird 'cause
fucked up. You
I
should
don't
be
even know
truthful.
if we can even laugh at these type of topics.
No,
it's just kinda-
no. It's funny because you can't talk about it bluntly. Like if you talk about it like
Let me ask this question too, because I'm so unfamiliar with this whole thing. When a person is transgender, do those organs work as the ones that they transform, or is it just cosmetics?
It depends
Like,
on
can that
how far
man-
transitioned you are.
Can that man now
I'm taking this.
bear birth?
No, I don't know.
trans
No,
women
they-
cannot.
that
Trans
part.
women can't have kids.
Okay.
They working on that. They working
They
on that. They
working
working on that as
They
we
working
speak.
on it.
So basically, this person still has like a prostate, just like
It's all.
me.
It's all gone.
It's all gone.
And it's
If they had the operation.
If they had the
If
operation.
they was fully transitioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's different. It's different types of transition. I guess it's like a transgender one.
Is you
Transgender
could
two.
take the hormones or the testosterone pills where you still have everything you was born with. Now you just might have a little chin hair. You might start growing boobs, whether you going male or female. It's stuff like that. But like, once you go under that knife, under that surgery, that's why I think you deserve to be called what you became.
Now, even with that being said, now when we have two different, because you know how they said, don't call those people anything but a woman. But at that point, if it would still be against laws to have sex with somebody with them not knowing who you were, then now we got two different species of woman, two different breeds of woman, if that's the case. Because you're gonna call this person a woman, but it still rules with
It's a
this
different
woman.
type
It's
of
still a
woman.
different
Different
type
type
of
of
woman.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now is that title accepted? I mean, we have
Type one and type two.
1 and type 2. You understand what I'm saying? And then, it's that whole thing gets messy. You know what I mean?
That's what it's hard to talk on. Each one is different.
Because
Each
if I
topic.
say, well, she is a woman, and you say, well, I was looking to reproduce, procreate. I mean, I can't do that
She might say, "Give me 10 more years."
with that
Technology
person.
is constantly
Say,
working.
but I want it now.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
So tell me this then. So if it's a transgender woman and she can reproduce, would you be comfortable?
Not me.
Okay.
I
You
like
just-
organic food,
Yeah.
brother. So I mean, I don't want nothing genetically
Nothing
modified.
genetically modified.
Yeah, and that's not a knock to anything. I don't know another way. I'm born the way I'm born.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when I voice my opinion on what I like, it shouldn't offend anybody because we all born a certain way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm born hetero, so me expressing my heterosexuality should not offend anybody who does opposite of what I do. But in today's time, it seems like the minute you say or voice what you like and what you enjoy as being a hetero, it's offensive. But everybody else can talk about their sexuality publicly now. It's everything is just so different now. It's
Well, Lil Mama coming out with heterosexual rights, man. She's trying to push it, man. They laughing at it, but I swear to God, she's starting a campaign for heterosexual rights. It's like, not saying that it's I don't even get it, man. Like it's just too again. So here we go again with more categories, more of this stuff.
more
like,
segregating
more-
tools.
more-
That's what they are. It's more segregating tools.
But if you think about it, it's more or less allowing the same conversation. Like, see how you two are talking and you guys are uncomfortable?
Completely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? You're uncomfortable because you're afraid of getting hit.
Or offending somebody.
So it's technically.
Because I don't like to be offended myself.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Right.
But technically, you guys are being bullied. Even though it's not in front of you, you're
Right.
still being bullied, or you're in fear of being bullied. You may not even be bullied. but
So would you say this is systematic? I'm being systematically bullied.
Yeah.
I'm being bullied systematically.
yeah, I don't.
Systemic bullying.
Yeah,
Damn.
I don't know what you call it, man. But it's like, well, they say the ones that got bullied become the bullies. That's what they say.
Hurt people,
hurt people. Like what I'm saying is that again, for me, man, I could just do without all of it, without all the categories. But if you were born as a man and you like to dress as a woman and you have womanly features and you happen to be in a club and you happen to start talking to a man who may be heterosexual, I think you do deserve to tell that man, hey, yo, some things, some
That man
difficulties,
deserves to need
there's some
that.
things down here about me you should know about before we go any further, or vice versa. If you are a woman if you're a man who decided to be a woman, you should tell that woman, if she started to engage with you or something like, hey, listen, everything ain't straight here. Because you don't want to misrepresent what's going on and somebody come into that room because now they feel violated. And when you violate somebody, that becomes something totally different.
But y'all don't think that, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like everything is over-sexed. And I'm not even talking like just what you see on TV and movies and everybody's having sex. I mean, everything is based about sex. All these separate groups are just separate groups of people who like sex a certain way. I mean, when you talk about sexuality, it's your preference.
Yeah.
That's what sexuality is, a preference. When did sex become such a public discussion? I don't understand why it's necessary to be on a football team and let everybody in here know how I like it. It's not necessary, because if I went to work tomorrow and I talked about how I liked it being a heterosexual man, it would be inappropriate. But why can't I announce that I love what I love, but it's okay for everybody else to? I don't think it's necessary for nobody to openly discuss what they do in their bedrooms.
But again-
It's supposed to be a intimate thing.
But then again, you gotta think.
How do you like sex make you a sexual group?
Yeah, so think about it again though. 20, 30 years ago, it was guys that was talking about how they was blowing their wife back out or blowing other people back out, or they bragging about the sex they had.
And that was inappropriate then.
So they bragged about the sex they had, but
Yes.
it was probably a guy in there who wanted to talk about some cheeks he might have crushed on the low.
Well, no, that's
You know
just
what
not
I'm
talking about
saying?
cheeks in general.
You know what I'm saying?
It's inappropriate.
He might have wanted to join the conversation, but he
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable talking about what he was doing because it wasn't what they was doing.
Yeah.
Now it's almost like now it's like the guys who was talking all the talk 20 years ago, they got to be silenced.
Yeah.
Because the other guys now want to say what they do.
But that's what I'm saying, period.
Yeah, why is it necessary?
Why
It's
is it
not- it's
necessary?
not necessary.
The guys who was hetero are not right. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be talking about it, period.
But
It's
now-
wrong.
But now,
In a professional setting, all
but
public
the ones that
setting.
feel like they was bullied, now they want to come back and like, oh no, this is my thing. But then again, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I think, like I said, if it's something that's going to separate people and have crazy things, crazy interactions, and have people having these crazy, I mean, it's like religion now. It's like sex, religion, politics.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody's
It's almost like
gonna
one
die.
thing.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
gonna die in the conversation. Like, but it stops us from saying, hey, can we work together? Can we do something together? Or can we just get along?
But
You
this
know
is
what
a
I'm saying?
segue to get into that, what we was talking about the other day called defensive listening. Because y'all hear this topic and y'all have an opinion of our opinion where we're not really voicing one to that extent. I'm just basically saying I don't think no sexual activity is supposed to be talked about publicly. It's intimate, it's personal, it's private, it is your business.
Bedroom business.
Bedroom business.
Yeah.
Period. It's not a nationality. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be disclosed. Keep it in the bedroom. It's your personal business. I don't care to hear about his no more than I care to hear about hers. It's theirs. And I think that's where it should stay. And that's just my personal opinion.
Just think about that, Bert.
I just feel like everybody is talking about sex. Sex sells. Sex is everything. It's 2021. Now we got 5 different types of sexes. So it's just like sex is everything.
It's
Everywhere. It's embedded in your children.
Yes.
It's embedded in your parents. If they don't want you to have it, it's embedded in their parents. It's everywhere. Can't get away from sex.
it perverts the natural act. You know what I'm saying? And not because of the choice you make. It's how it's being sold. It's being pushed on you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Especially at a young age.
Right.
We can go on and on about this.
Yeah.
Keep going, because last week they told me I cut the conversations too fast. You got
Yeah,
some more to go?
yeah.
Go, keep going.
Let me see. So, but back to what I asked y'all earlier about the transgender woman. So, what if you meet a woman fully transitioned? She doesn't tell you she was born a man because she feels like that's her business. She's fully transitioned. There's nothing about her that says she used to be a man except for old pictures. Say you dated this woman for however long. I'ma just take it there. Maybe 3 months to 6 months. Y'all been having sex. You never felt nothing different. Then you end up going to her family's house and you're like, oh, I didn't know you had a brother. But that was her as a child. How would you feel?
I would feel betrayed. No different than I would feel betrayed if it was a regular woman, because now here it is, you're dealing with a person intimately and you're dating this person, you're probably in a relationship, and you've been holding back on me. So now outside of the sexuality part, you've been dishonest. So the trust factor goes out the window. Either way you look at it, you can't make this a right. You understand what I'm saying? Because you held that back. I think you're supposed to let this person know what's going on. Yeah, you said it's your business, but how well do I know you? We're going to this.
What else have you lied about? Or not
Yeah, what else
talking
have you-
about?
right.
Yeah. That could go both ways. So it's just hard out here. Gotta get your fact checks on people.
I'd be like
That's-
Jada Pinkett in the shower scene on what's that movie? The shower scene on that movie. Set it off. Yeah, I'll be like Jada Pinkett on the shower scene. I
Oh,
probably
after that check she got.
yeah, I
Yeah.
probably just drown myself in the shower. It's like no, honestly,
Whoa.
yeah, I would feel very betrayed though. I would feel very betrayed, and man, like it's a new world we're going into because
Would you be questioning your
no, I got
Sorry, at that
bamboozled.
point.
I got bamboozled. I was hoodwinked.
Yeah.
I was lied to. You know, it's almost like you know we all been lied to in our lives. I ain't never had that lie, thank God. You know what I'm saying? But
That you know of.
that you know of?
no. I gotta relax on that one. I gotta relax.
Whoa,
on
you got to
that.
throw the towel
Yeah,
in.
throw the towel in on y'all too for that. We need a towel on this one, folks. But no, I wouldn't appreciate that at all. I mean, luckily I'm at this different stage in my life where I'm more understanding and less violent. So it really is like that's shocking, man. That's shocking. Like you know, it may be different 20 years from now. That could be a norm 20 years from now. But that's not a norm for me,
Right.
nor people like you.
Right.
You know, that's not a normal. Like you know, we didn't grow up trying to figure that part of the game
Right.
out. So at this point of the game, like trying to figure that out, it's like, nah, I'm cool. Like it's not for me.
It's
just not
different
for me.
now, though. Now
Yeah,
we got
it is.
unisex bathrooms for people who's transitioning. It's in colleges, it's in high schools. It's like
She's at
this
the
is a
workplace.
real thing.
Yeah, it's at the workplace.
There's
Yeah.
no such thing as privacy anymore. That's what it boils down to. Everything is
Everything's becoming one, guys.
on the table. Everything's on the table. Everything's for sale. Everything's up for discussion. It's no such thing as privacy.
I think it's just another thing to charge somebody with. Another thing just to get people hysterical. Again, we start arguing this stuff and focus on this stuff. We miss the fact that Citibank just allowed Bitcoin to go through again today. Just to let you know, the money change, the sex changing, the money changing, everything changing. Like we're going into a different world, man. So, like if if you're dealing with somebody, I don't even know what to tell you. Yeah, I really don't. I've seen some transgender women out here, so it's becoming like it's more becoming of a more common thing. And to those that like to do that, God bless you. That's what you do. You know what I mean? That's what y'all do. Like, you know what I mean? Keep doing it. That's what you do.
So what do you feel about the not transgender woman, but the woman now that's adding extra body parts? Well, not extra, but enhancing the body
Enhancing the
parts.
body parts?
It almost looks like
I think everything like Demolition Man to me when I go outside sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Everything like Demolition Man. Like you can't tell what's wrong.
everybody
Funny-
gonna look the same.
Yeah, well, it's like remember I'm gonna get you sucker when the boy was in there with
Took
the
a leg off,
took a leg off,
yeah.
the titty off, the eyes off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's getting to that point in life. Like it was a joke in the movie, but now it's really happening in real life. So you saw the reaction of the guy that was in the room with the woman with the fake butt and the fake leg. I think I would
Yeah.
feel the same way too.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like it's a little bit too extra. But then again, you got some people who got Supreme implants, and you won't even know that they fake. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You being there, and So like I said, man, like it's a lot, man. It's a lot to deal with. If you're getting the implants, that's what you want to do, fine. You know what I mean? But if you're getting them to make yourself feel more confident, the confidence starts inside. You don't start with an implant.
Right.
So as far as me, I'm not. It's not something I put on my bucket list.
Right.
I've never. It's not something I put on my bucket list. I never known a woman with a fake butt that
Right.
I had relations with. So it's not really my. It's not really my
and
thing.
see, and that's what started getting scary because like she was saying, you got people out here who feel like it's their personal business and they ain't got to tell you that they got something done, and you ain't got this girl. You say, well, she just got a fake butt, but you don't realize everything is kind of
Yeah.
artificial,
Yeah,
and it's going that direction. Everybody is starting to look the same. Men and women are starting to look the same with everybody getting all of this stuff done. It's scary for people who don't like that.
For normal people.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna call nobody normal or not normal. I ain't touching that. I'm just saying, but I know what you mean.
Enhancements
Yeah.
versus the basic people.
Right.
With your God-given stuff.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's a weird joint. It's definitely a weird joint, and the quality of some of this stuff is even worse because, man, I hate for some to be one of these guys that been dealing with the fake butts and that shit start oozing out.
Yeah.
I hear some stories about some
I mean,
stuff.
people have died
Yeah,
behind these injections.
So yeah, I mean, like I don't know, man. I think I'm not a real religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I think you should just I don't know. I think God made you a certain way for a reason, but I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know. I wasn't there with him. I hollered at him one time for about 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's funny because back in the days, people had the answers for things, and now those same answers don't work now for some things. But then sometimes you want to use the old days. So it's crazy. Like they got us all like this right now. And whatever this leads to, then we all figure it out later. But for me, I like.
That's gonna be a new symbol for a new group.
They're like, what the hell is these? You know what I mean? What the hell is these? Like, I can see the comments now. We probably get 10 dislikes this week too.
Yeah, no,
But,
this is a rough one.
This is just the spark conversation though. Like, we're not really trying to put our opinions in your head. We're just saying things that we see, things that we notice, and we like, that's kind of different. You know, that's definitely kind of different. You know, you enhance a one night stand with some alcohol and somebody assuming that somebody is something that they're not. Here we go again. You can't even say that.
Did they give the name of the people who?
Oh,
What's
the
the
names.
situation?
Yeah, the names in there. I didn't put down. I didn't copy
Yeah.
the names. I don't think.
What city was there?
This city. Yeah,
It was
Philadelphia.
Philly?
Yes, it's Philadelphia,
I
man.
didn't know that.
Yeah, back Germantown.
But we have,
If you was there, you knew what you was there for.
we have a lot of deaths in Philadelphia for transgender women.
Yeah.
A lot. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know whether it's just people seeking out what they like, and then once they like it too much, they
Feel
freak out.
guilty.
Oh shit.
Now that's
Because I know it's a lot of transgender women prostitutes who have been murdered. So I know they're not out here lying to people about who they are. So it's just a lot of freaky shit going on.
Right. Period.
Period. On both ends.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's crazy. If you want a transgender woman, then you got to kill her to make yourself feel good after you had it. That's definitely some evil. That's some evil shit. Like, you gotta get your urges together, people. Like, you know,
Really?
whatever you do, that's what you do. Don't, man. I don't know, man. Maybe they gotta bring back shock therapy or something, man, for y'all guys that want to, have sex with things that you know that. Yeah, I don't even know what you mean.
And you don't even know what you should say.
I don't even know what to
Figure
say.
yourself out
This is
first.
one of them.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Yeah, figure out what you like, and if you like it, goddamn it, go for it. Go for it. And in that one, this is a hard one today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Again, always like.
Share.
Subscribe.
There we go. There was a whole long pause on the share, but we got it though. Always remember, this is just conversations. Definitely no interview. And at this point, I want to thank you again, and see you soon.